Picture this: one man, one night, 24 enemy aircraft destroyed with his bare hands. And that's just one mission. Meet Paddy Mayne, the man who may have killed more German planes than Britain's top fighter ace. But here's the twist. The British military deliberately denied him the nation's highest honor, and even King George VI demanded to know why. Robert Blair, Paddy Mayne, was a Northern Irish rugby international, a trained lawyer and an absolute savage on the battlefield. Standing 6 feet tall with the build of a heavyweight boxer, which he was, Mayne was recruited into the brand-new Special Air Service in 1941. But, according to legend, David Stirling, the founder of the SAS, had to bail him out of a military prison first. Why? Mayne had allegedly punched his commanding officer in the face after a night of heavy drinking. Stirling looked at this violent, brilliant maniac and thought, "That's my guy." Between 1941 and 1942, Mayne became the stuff of nightmares for the German Afrika Korps. His specialty? Sneaking into enemy airfields in the dead of night and destroying everything in sight. During the raid on Tamad Airfield in Libya, Mayne and his team burst into the officers' mess, gunned down German and Italian troops, then systematically destroyed 24 aircraft using explosives and machine guns. But here's the insane part. When one plane wouldn't blow up, Mayne physically ripped the instrument panel out of the cockpit with his bare hands. That control panel is now in a museum. Over his time in North Africa, Mayne is credited with personally destroying over 100 enemy aircraft. Think about that. Not from the safety of a fighter plane. On the ground, behind enemy lines, surrounded by thousands of enemy troops. After the SAS founder David Stirling was captured in 1943, Mayne took command. He led daring operations across Sicily, Italy, France, and Germany. He received the Distinguished Service Order 4 times, almost unheard of in British military history. But in April 1945, during a mission in Germany, Mayne drove directly into German machine gun fire to rescue his wounded men. His superiors recommended him for the Victoria Cross, Britain's highest military honor. 6 months later, that recommendation was mysteriously downgraded. The citation had been altered. David Stirling later confirmed there was prejudice against Mayne. King George VI himself allegedly asked why the Victoria Cross had so strangely eluded him. After the war, Mayne struggled. Back injuries prevented him from playing rugby. Post-traumatic stress haunted him. He returned to Northern Ireland to work as a solicitor, but he was drinking heavily and couldn't sleep. On December 14, 1955, at just 40 years old, Paddy Mayne died when his car struck a parked truck after a night of drinking. Today, a statue stands in his hometown of Newtown Ards. The SAS still uses tactics he pioneered. Over 100 MPs have called for him to receive a posthumous Victoria Cross. Paddy Mayne destroyed more enemy aircraft than most fighter pilots. He was one of the most decorated soldiers in British history. And yet, to this day, his greatest act of valor remains officially unrecognized. What do you think? Does Paddy Mayne deserve the Victoria Cross? Let me know in the comments.